let's just get into this.
How's it hanging, Phil?
Alright, so we begin with a police chase. Fun. The police chase follows a detective as he is trying to apprehend a looming killer. But the killer's hopes of getting away dwindles as his partner, Eddie Caputo, who is also his getaway driver, kinda leaves him behind. The detective here is named Mike Norris, and the serial killer being chased is Charles Lee Ray. And don't worry, you will not forget Charles, as he is about to become the most important character of this entire franchise. How, you may ask? Well, after the chase leads into a toy store and Charles has some over-the-top tumbles, he kinda gets shat on by getting shot. Lucky enough for him though, he has been practicing some of that voodoo magic. Let's go! After Charles accepts his death, he begins to do a soul transfer into a doll that fell over after he stumbled into a group of them. This is indeed the Chucky doll, or preferably, a good guy doll. That's the brand that makes Chucky dolls, by the way.
Give me the power, I beg of you!
This is the first appearance of the Damballa spell. You'll never forget your first. This spell literally shows up in every Chucky movie and every Chucky TV show season. Well, except for the reboot. Anyways, after the spell is finished, the whole store might have kind of just blew up in a huge practical effect. Practical effects are awesome! Norris then stumbles upon Charles' body lying next to a seemingly innocent doll. Hey, at least dolls can't come alive. Right? Oh, hey, it's someone's birthday. That someone is a kid named Andy Barclay who lives with his mother, Karen, in an apartment. Speaking of his mum, Andy's making breakfast for her. How generous. Although, he might want to watch the amount of milk and cereal he's pouring. Mum's about to get a whole serving of diabetes. God damn. Andy here is played by a young Alex Vincent, and let me just say, he absolutely kills it in this role. This movie is made so much more enjoyable than it already is, just because of how good he is, so I'm so happy he pulled it off. Side note, Andy is a good guy's fanatic. Like, I mean, just look, he's even watching good guy cartoons, and oh my god, what is that? That thing is scarier than the Chuckster himself. Anyway, Andy is now giving the breakfast he made to his mom, and she loves it.
Wake up, 30, it's only 6:30 in the morning.
No, really, she loves it. Oh yeah, birthday. Andy is opening his presents, and it's not really what he wanted. He wants a good guy doll since he's, you know, a big fan of him. But Karen simply just can't afford it because she works a strict job just to provide for Andy, a job of which she's at right now. Her friend Maggie comes up with an idea. A quick stop to the alley while at work? Haha, sounds fun. But hey, this quick little stop turns out to be a win because she manages to pick up a good guy doll from this homeless guy. That's a win. Right? This doll is good, right? This doll's not alive, right? Right? Anyways, both Karen and Maggie head back into the workplace, and Karen immediately gets given another shift on her son's birthday.
You'll have to be back at 7.
It's my son's birthday.
Mrs. Barclay, are you happy with your job here?
Yes, of course I am.
Damn, what an absolute asshole.
Then I suggest...
Hey, chill out, would you, Walter?
But hey, maybe it's not too bad because Maggie offers to babysit Andy while Karen works. But lucky Karen gets to spend some more time with Andy before she goes to work. Karen spends this time efficiently by giving Andy his new birthday present, trauma. We now jump forward to the nighttime where Maggie's in full babysitting mode. Not really. All she does is eat his damn birthday cake. How rude. Meanwhile, Andy's teaching Chucky how to play Minecraft. But all Chucky wants to do is just watch the news about his best pal, Eddie Caputo.
Aunt Maggie, Chucky wants to watch the 9 o'clock news.
Sure he does.
But no, Maggie says it's bedtime. Look at the way she's dragging Chucky. That's gotta piss him off. Andy goes and brushes his teeth, but the Chuckster needs to catch up on the latest episode of Family Guy. The way this movie handles its horror is actually amazing in my opinion. They spend about half of the movie making you think whether or not the doll is alive or not, and they execute it perfectly. There's multiple moments in this movie where they make you think Chucky's gonna move, or blink, or just do anything, but no, he just sits there, and there comes a really, really eerie shot of him, and it's awesome. And it just makes the movie, the whole experience, just 10 times more scarier, more impactful, more eerie, and more suspenseful, and that's what a horror movie needs, so it's great that it perfects this. I also love it when it makes it seem like Chucky is talking to Andy. It just builds up so much eeriness, and I love it. There's even parts of this movie that makes you think it's Andy and not Chucky. For instance, after Andy is put to bed, Aunt Maggie is reading a book when a figure zooms past in the background. And maybe it's Andy. Maggie proceeds to investigate, but the only thing she can find is a damn hammer to the face. Well, it's a toy hammer. And a toy hammer makes us stumble back really far. She's okay, right? Turns out she's not, because Karen returns home to a bunch of police officers. And look who it is, it's good old Detective Mike Norris. You know, the detective that killed Charles Lee Ray at the start. Well, him and all the other police officers are here, of course, to investigate Maggie's death. Norris then breaks the news to Karen about her best friend dying in the most casual and uninterested way.
Miss Peterson's dead, Miss Barkley.
What?
Right then.
Fun fact, the actor for Mike Norris is actually the speaking voice for Jack Skellington. Anyway, Jack Skellington explains to Karen that Maggie was probably pushed and didn't just do a silly little goofy fall. And the footprints in the house further prove this. This movie does attempt to try and at least make you think that Andy could be behind the killings, which, like, seriously? That whole concept and idea is kind of stupid, because even if you've never seen this movie before, you can kind of tell that the doll's the killer. Seriously, it's not Andy.
I mean, we all know it's Chucky, and Andy even proves this by showing that his feet aren't dusty. But wait, Chucky's are? Chuck ruined his fresh kicks. Andy needs to show this to the others instantly. Yeah, no, they don't believe him. I mean, dolls can't be alive, right? Karen then sends the police on their way because she's taking their job and interviewing poor Andy.
He said that Maggie was a real bitch and got what she deserved.
The Chucky franchise is actually great of having genuine horror while balancing it with nice actual comedy that actually sometimes lands. And this scene here shows that. Even though this movie is more grounded and serious, it still has some funny moments. Albeit not that much, as this movie focuses on its horror and mystery, which it should be. Andy is told that Chucky is simply not alive and is sent to bed. Look at the way he checks if someone's at the door. Hell no you don't. It is now the next day and Andy is off to school. Oh shit, is it bring a good guy to school day? Must be. But Chucky is too cool for school, doesn't want to be seen around these clearly inferior dolls. So he makes Andy just outright leave. He needs Andy to carry him to his good old pal Eddie Caputo, who is hiding out in some abandoned house.
Whoa, we're in first person now. And holy shit, this little man is fast. He's straight up sprinting into this house. God damn. Oh, wow. Anyway, he's inside now, and is now fiddling with the oven. And look what you've done, Chuck. You woke up poor old Eddie, but he's still armed and dangerous. And he looks for an intruder. He hears a laugh from the kitchen and instantly opens the door and fires. And then boom! Good old Eddie is blown to smithereens. This is done in yet another amazing practical effect. Look at that. Boom! They blew this place the hell up. Nice. Later, Karen is called into the police station because the police want their job back and are now interviewing Andy. Look, they even saved Chucky a seat. How generous. Andy is trying his hardest to explain that it's been Chucky the whole time, but no one believes him. Look, he's even banging Chucky against the chair. This is actually kind of depressing, and this sadly leads to Andy being taken away, which is even more depressing.
Now Karen is left alone, left to deal with the Chuckster himself. After trying and failing to try and attempt Chucky to speak, she goes to get a drink after giving up and eventually stumbles upon the box that Chucky came in. She has a look at it to find out that the batteries haven't even been placed in yet. Chucky has been working without batteries. This reveal is done so well. The sound effects, the music, and especially the directing here is done so perfectly, and it just makes the scene way more scarier and way more eerie, which is perfect in what this scene really needs. Once again, the directing here is amazing as we follow Karen as she approaches this possible, of course it is, killer doll. We also can't forget the great acting here with Karen as we can see the true fear and shock in her eyes and her face and every move she takes. Brilliant stuff. Karen proceeds to pick up Chucky and check if there are batteries, and of course there are not.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Absolute chills. Look at this little man roll. That would be terrifying to see in real life. Karen looks under the lounge to see if he's moving or not, he's not, so she picks him up once again. The slow drag Karen does here really shows how scared she is right now. She tries yet again to make Chucky talk, but this time she uses threats. And hey, it works.
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
Meanwhile, in real life,
Stupid bitch! You filthy slut!
now the fight commences. Who's gonna win? That's right, Neva. Well, I mean, Chuck does bite her. But then he just kinda dips.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
And he's even using the elevator, and no, Karen, you're not going to catch up to him. Especially if you're falling or stumbling around like that. Yep, I was right, he's gone. Whoa, transition! Where's Karen going to now? That's right, to Jack freaking Skeleton. She is going to explain everything, but instead sounds like she's really, really high. So of course he doesn't believe her, and now she, in turn, goes to go find the homeless guy that got her the Chucky doll in the first place. Through some help from Jack Skellington, we eventually find out that the homeless guy found the doll within a burnt toy store, a place that is very familiar to Jack.
Was it?
Place where he said he got the doll. Charles Lee Ray died there.
Who?
The hell you mean who? Andy told you.
His real name is Charles Lee Ray.
Karen is now fully convinced that Andy was telling the truth, but on the other hand, Norris wasn't. But guess what? That's his bad, as Chucky is in his car.
Good night, asshole!
Chuck is hoping to gain another kill on his list, especially if it's the police officer that killed him. But hey, Jack can just pull over, right? He can pull over, right? He can pull over, right? He could pull over, right? Nope, because we got a crash. But Chuck is still striving though, but is really shit at his profession and misses the knife stab, and to his detriment, he gets shot by Norris, which in turn gets him to dip again, but this time for an actual reason, as he goes to his voodoo teacher, Dr. John.
The gree work?
And let me just say here, the Chucky animatronic is really good. Like, it shines here. It looks amazing. But Chucky is here because he has a problem. What's that problem? Well, he got shot, remember? And guess what? That shot hurt? Chucky is slowly becoming human over time and can now feel pain once again. Chucky doesn't really like this and wants Dr. John to fix it. But Dr. John is kind of like against him now and won't help him.
Because you're an abomination. An outrage against nature!
But hey, lucky for the Chuckster, he has a voodoo doll of Dr. John that he found in his apartment. Whoop, there goes a leg, and whoop, there goes an arm. And with that, Dr. John caves in and tells Chucky that in order to get out of his doll form and to basically save himself, he must use a spell to transfer his soul into the first human body that found out about his secret, which is Andy. That secret being that Chucky is alive, practically. And even though Chucky was told what he wanted and how to save himself, he's still a little prick and decides to stab him in the heart. Lucky enough, Karen and Detective Norris arrived to the place, based on a few leads, to hear his last words.
It's the only way through the heart.
In order to kill Chucky, you must attack him by attacking the heart. Wait, what? Can you say that again?
Through the heart.
One more time, go on.
Through the heart.
Wait, do it another time?
Through the heart.
Okay. Now that Chuck knows what to do, he races to the children's facility that's holding Andy and attempts to break in. Andy notices this and proceeds to try and explain what's happening, but of course no one believes him. Eventually, Chucky breaks in, gets inside, and hunts down Andy. Bro, what the hell is that thing? I ain't dealing with this. Andy escapes to an operating room where he arms himself with a weapon, the mighty scalpel, with Chucky still after him, of course. He is eventually found by a doctor who tries to disarm poor old Andy. He even tries to get Andy hooked on some hardcore meth, sedation, but lucky the Chuckster is here to the rescue, stabbing the doctor and hooking him up to this machine of which I don't know the name of, and Andy is left to watch the doctor's brains get fried. Guys, I don't think you're stopping. That burn makeup is also kind of shit if I had to be honest, but oh well. Karen and Skeleton arrive at the hospital, but it's too late. But hey, lucky Karen knows that Andy knows his way home, which she is confident is where he is, and she's right. Andy is home barricading the door and hiding in the closet. Chucky knows Andy's tactics and follows him home, trying to get into the house, once again taking the elevator, suffering people's rudeness.
Ugly doll. Fuck you.
How dare they? Sadly for Chuck, the door is locked. What's he gonna do now? He's gonna have to take some old-fashioned ways and take up some very Christmassy ways and follow after Santa Claus and take the chimney. Chuck struts around with his blade looking for Andy, but Andy is also armed and dangerous and pops Chucky's skull in. But things turn around quick, and now Chuck has the bat and knocks out Andy using a one-liner. Then Chuck begins to chant to transfer his soul into Andy's body, but sadly gets interrupted by Karen and Norris, who interrupt Chuck by throwing him across the actual room. Norris then takes charge in looking for Chucky with a gun, but gets stopped with a baseball bat. Lucky Karen grabbed the gun and shoots Chuck, which actually really annoys him. Lucky Karen is able to lock Chuck in the fireplace. Because Chuck really hates fires, he really wants to get out of the fireplace, but can't because Karen is focusing on holding him back. But it also means, to Chucky's delight, that Karen can't burn him because she's focused on holding him back. But it means that Andy now has to do the deed.
We're friends to the end, remember?
This is the end, friend.
Bang a line. The Chuckster then runs out in an awesome fire stun, running, crawling, and scrambling around the room, eventually ending up as this charred thing. Realistically, he's dead, but guess what? You'll never believe this, he's not. And hey, Chuckster looks even more terrifying now. Yet another chase scene happens, god damn it, but this time it has a reference to Jack Nicholson in The Shining, but eventually Karen gains back the gun, shooting Chuck to smithereens. Off with your head, and off with your limbs. After a few shots just in case, Jack Skellington's partner arrives and is obviously confused, and I don't blame him. I mean, who can? Jack Skellington proceeds to explain to him everything that has happened and that the Barclays were right and that Chucky was alive, and yet again, he doesn't believe them. Do you need more proof, bozo? Here you go. Luckily, this time Norris is actually able to shoot Chucky through the heart. And with this awesome line,
I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Chucky's reign of terror is finally at an end. Or is it? Of course not. Look how many sequels there are. Andy and the others eventually walk off, putting Chucky behind him and ending with a very cringe, weird, and unnecessary freeze frame. And that was Child's Play. What a movie, am I right? But no, I actually love this movie. I mean, it did kind of start its own genre, that being the killer doll horror genre. But this movie is a great, mysterious horror film that builds its suspense and mystery really well throughout its runtime. So many things such as the acting, the directing, the horror, the characters, the writing, the editing, the music, the suspense, everything about this movie, among many things, were just done so well, and they were done the way they needed to build a great and amazing horror film, which I think this movie is. We managed to gain one of the most memorable and most popular horror icons there is in Chucky the Killer Doll, who is memorable for a damn good reason. He is creative and he is funny, but he's also scary at the same time, and Chucky is amazing. And we also gain one of the most amazing protagonists in all of horror in Andy Barclay, and I just have to thank Don Mancini and the crew for that. This movie is iconic and a classic for a good reason, and I love this movie so damn much. But I have to thank you all for watching this video, especially because I put so much effort into this video, and it really came out the way I really wanted it to be, and I think it's the best it could have been. Believe me, this video has been in the making for the last 9 months. Once again, thank you all for watching, and make sure to subscribe for us for more content like this. And on the mess scale for Child's Play, I would give it a great, and I would also give Child's Play a solid 8 out of 10. I love this movie. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe. See you all later.
They'll never find me in here, Chucky. This is the best game of hide and seek ever.
Just keep your fucking mouth. shut.
Chucky, stop cursing.
anticipate.